Welcome to day 19 of our 40 days in the Gospel of John. We're in John chapter 9, and I like to keep these videos short, and I'm in danger of making it long because this is a hobby horse of mine, a key topic of mine. In the first few verses of John chapter 9, we read this story about a man who is blind. And when Jesus' disciples see this, they ask Jesus a question, and they say, so why is he blind? Is it because he sinned, or is it because his parents sinned? That's the only two choices they gave him. Someone sinned around here, that's why he's blind. And Jesus said, it's not because he sinned, and it's not because his parents sinned. It's because God's glory is going to be displayed. The hobby horse of mine is the guilt and the shame and the negative projection that's put onto people who have illness. As you can imagine, it's an issue close to my heart. And historically, churches sadly have had this culture, and maybe even way back to the disciples, where clearly if you are struggling with your health, there's got to be something wrong. It's got to be. And if you have never suffered with sickness for a long time, you may not realise how much that guilt can play, how much that narrative that says, well, maybe God's not happy with me, maybe this is because I did something wrong, maybe God's trying to teach me something. And Jesus really wants to put that to rest in this story here. He's like, it's not to do with that. He doesn't explain everything, but what he does explain is God's power is going to be displayed. And then, because it's Jesus, he goes on to do that through miraculously healing this person. And you and I know that that's not always the experience we've seen. I've experienced healing, I've seen people healed, I've also prayed for plenty of people for healing and not seen the breakthrough. But what I do know is this happened so that God might be glorified. That's what we read in these verses. God's going to be glorified. God is going to be glorified, whether it's through healing or through the perseverance of that person who continues to put their faith and trust in Jesus, despite their body giving up on them in various ways. In this way, this guy was born blind. And every attempt from someone to put some guilt or shame or blame on there is rejected by Jesus. He says it's not to do with sin. It's to do with God's glory. So if you are those people, someone who's like, oh, I've got sickness and I've had it for a long time, reject that shame and guilt. That is not who you are. God wants to display his glory in your life. And if that's not you, and you're around or you meet people who are suffering with illness, sicknesses, challenging their health, love them, care for them, call out the best in them, pray for them privately, or if they want you to pray for them them there and then, but seek the glory of God in it all. Have a great day.